Here's a look at the emini S&P for Thursday, September the 1st, 2011. Well, we had areas basically from 12 to 28 as our support and resistance. And by the way, what we're looking at here, the market profiles, this is today's. This is yesterday's. I think that might be a bit of an error, but doesn't really matter because the market, when it did get up after the news was released, it hit almost to the dot our resistance area there. It hit 28.50, and that was it. And then it sold off for the rest of the day. The early low that was formed just prior to the market running up was down at 12.11.25. So our support and resistance really did work out nicely, but the rejection off of the highs was pretty good, and the market continued to extend the range lower, hitting the next target, which was in around 12.04 and then 12.02. And during the day today, it actually closed a little bit below 12.02. So the market is looking very bearish ahead of the employment news that'll be released tomorrow morning. That's obviously very important numbers. The market's likely to get very volatile, so you want to be careful there. Our next area of resistance, should the market rally up, is around 12.07. So we're going to use around 12.07 as an area that's likely going to be a resistance area, and then around 12.20. And then approximately 12.28 again. So market is leaning down. We don't really think it's in an intraday down, confirmed intraday auction direction yet. Would have to sell off probably and hold below around 80 in order to do that. But it certainly is leaning down, and so we do have a preference more to the short side. Not a strong one. We're going to have to wait and see what transpires after the news, and also once the regular trading hours start, because of course there's really a different type of volume included, or that comes into the market once the regular trading hours start. So I want to be aware of that. And of course we also use our market profiles from the regular trading hours, and you're looking at them right here, to give us what we think is a pretty good handle on the condition of the market. In other words, what phase of the auction cycle is it in. We did have some trades today, not many. We had a long trade there. Then later on in the day we had a long trade here. We had a couple of short trades, one here and one here. None of these first three trades we took because they just weren't compatible with our filter, or with the news. This one here was triggered right when the news occurred, and then this one didn't have the filter, and this one was against the intraday up auction. We did take this one here, and it did rally for us, but it only rallied to our first objective, so it was a break-even trade. So we ended up not having anything today, but I think the big takeaway from today is that this attempt by the market to move higher, it was surprisingly suppressed by the sellers. And as long as this market can stay, I would say below 20, it's good to go a lot lower. It may get up to 20 on a reaction. Of course, that kind of depends on where it starts once the news is released. If it continues to sell off overnight, it may only get up to the 6 area. Actually, the areas of resistance we're looking at now are it's actually about 7. So we're looking at 7 as resistance. We're looking at 13 as resistance. We're looking at 20 as resistance, and then 28. So these are the areas that we feel are likely to be resistance areas. Like I say, we're just going to have to monitor that as the market proceeds tomorrow. It could certainly rally up there and get rejected, somewhat similar to a probe like we had today. And it really doesn't matter what the news is. If it's considered bullish or bearish, it's likely just to get really volatile, and then we'll be looking to get into a trade once that settles down. And quite often, I like to give it at least 20 minutes or so, maybe sometimes like 45, in order to really, get a much better handle on what the uh, real direction of the market's likely to be after it has that volatile period once the news is released. So that's really what we're looking at right now. So just be careful with the news tomorrow. Any questions or comments, just get a hold of us at info@eminidaytrader.com. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.